I did.
What is Innovation Village? Imagine a place that welcomes all and is student-focused, where students do things differently, in a non-traditional manner, where attitudes are open-minded, where community partners will access expert resources of students and professors through project work, all with a view to fueling economic growth and social benefits. In the heart of the Fanshawe London campus, Innovation Village will be a physical and virtual hub where students will discover one-stop supports and exceptional learning. It will include collaborative workspaces, virtual reality and multimedia labs, a makerspace, project rooms, research support, and cutting-edge equipment. Why are we doing this? The workforce is ever-changing, and it is Fanshawe's responsibility to ensure students are prepared to meet the needs of employers. We will provide every student with a signature innovative learning experience and job skills for the future, so they gain the technical and human skills required for a changing world of work. Through the work of students, employers will gain exposure to future employees, and our community gains a creative, collaborative, productive workforce with experiential perspective. How does it work? Businesses, nonprofits, and public sector organizations can use Innovation Village as a front door to the college to gain access to student creativity, passion, and energy. Through projects, students and faculty will use their talent and skills to address real-world challenges and help create new opportunities. When will it begin? Innovation Village represents a commitment that has started and will continue to grow. Every day, students will develop future skills and participate in highly experiential learning opportunities, working with organizations in our community. It takes a village. To change the way we think about learning, to think less about classes and more about learning experiences, where we all have a stake in the future, developing successful, creative, and resilient graduates that can respond quickly to an ever-changing world and make strong contributions to our community. It takes a village to do all this and more. Welcome to Innovation Village.
International. We just would like to welcome you to London, Ontario, especially for your upcoming studies. In this unprecedented time, we really want to make sure that our students feel welcomed and engaged throughout this new upcoming term. And to help with that, we'll be delivering welcome packages to students in the London area. So please do reach out to us. Please take advantage of our Fanshawe Cares Arrival services, offering free transportation to make sure that you get to your quarantine location safely, and to those who might need help getting from their quarantine location to their forever home. Thank you.
Hi everybody, it's Wendy Curtis. I'm the International Director at Fanshawe College, and today I get to be a Fanshawe Cares Ninja, dropping off a goodie package to all of our new international students to welcome them to beautiful London, Ontario, Canada. So watch what happens next.
I guess.
Hi. We're from Fanshawe. How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're so excited you're here.
Oh.
Okay, there you go. How many of you are there? 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. We just wanted to say welcome, and we're really glad that you're here.
Yeah,
My name's Wendy, and I work in the International Center at Fanshawe, and this is my colleague Priyank. He's also a Fanshawe grad.
Yep.
And Emily, who does
hello.
the Fanshawe Cares services.
Hi.
Yeah. Stay safe. Let us know if you need anything, okay?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're really happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so good evening, everyone. Hi, hello, my colleagues. Can you turn on your videos? Okay, perfect. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. So welcome to the Philippine Winter 2022 Pre-Departure Orientation. So I bet you guys are so excited to go to Canada, especially it's winter time. But before we move on to our session, I would just like to introduce our team who will be managing the whole session today. So again, you know me, my name is Ina, and I'm the representative of Fanshawe for the Philippines. And together with me is my colleague Maria and Jay. Can you guys introduce yourself as well?
Okay, I'll start. So good evening again, everyone. Welcome to our pre-departure orientation for winter semester 2022. I hope this will be a productive evening for all of us. And if you have further questions, just chat and we'll address some of your questions after the presentation.
Hello everyone, this is Jay, the market leader for Korea, Japan, all of ASEAN region. Welcome to Fanshawe 2021 January pre-departure seminar. And we are pleasure to meet you. And we prepared a lot of information. And this time is also a little bit complicated to arrive in Canada. So you have to follow all of the information and our policy. So it is going to take 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, but please focus on our pre-departure seminar.
All right, perfect. So let me just share my screen. All right, so I hope you can see my screen already. So it's very fitting for this photo because it's winter time. You are starting your program in winter time, or probably if you already started your program in, let's say, in September, and now you're going to Canada for your second semester, you will somehow expect this picture. So just a few reminders for our session today. So the session is being recorded and we'll be sharing it to you guys together with all the information that will be presented today. If there will be like unanswered questions, we will provide opportunities for you to also type in your questions via Q&A, the Q&A box as you can see in your Zoom or in your screen today. All participants will also be muted during the presentation, and also please avoid sharing personal information like your phone number, also putting up links in other groups as well. So please refrain from doing that because the session is being recorded, like I mentioned. And also, we have consolidated your common questions. We are answering that one later on. But if you have any specific or case-specific question based on your situation, you're very much free to email us afterwards. So to start, my colleague Jay will be starting the session with a few information about Fanshawe.
Thank you. All right, let's start. So before you will take a flight, of course, you have to know the city information. So London City. So technically, I'm living in South Korea right now because of my position and my current job. But I used to live in London around almost 8 years. So London is my second hometown. And I also work at the London main campus in International Center. So London is also a beautiful city. And we are 11th largest city, and our population is 533,000. So we have many people are living, and also multicultural. There are a lot of different country people are living together. And London is also a forest city. There are a lot of parks, tree, and also you can do the barbecue in all of the parks. So a lot of Philippine students are choosing London and Fanshawe College, and they also bring their family too. They are also pretty much enjoying their life and studying and working in London. So I can truly say, welcome to London City, and I believe you will also love our city too. And also second advantage for international students. Compared to Greater Toronto area or British Columbia, Vancouver, London living cost is at least 40% cheaper. So tuition fees are same, but living cost depends on where you live. So during you are studying, you can save a lot of money, and a lot of almost Philippine students are doing part-time job, and part-time salary could cover your living costs, like especially rental fee and your grocery. And also there are a lot of health science, like hospitals. That's why we also have a lot of health science programs. So whenever you are wanted to see your doctor, easy to access. And also our insurance will also cover your bill too. So only Fanshawe provide medical, dental, vision insurance. And because of we have a lot of hospitals and clinic, if you will study one of the health science program, you also have a lot of job opportunity too. Okay. And also we are close to America, and a lot of companies are coming. And we have around the 15,496 companies in London. And also new companies are keep coming every year. So right now we have more than 8,000 partner companies in Canada. So we will support you to get a co-op, part-time, full-time job. Okay, next. And here's the important information. Since November 5th, 2021, all of the Fanshawe students and faculties must be fully vaccinated. So you will study at the campus. All of the programs will be blended. There is no more online. So you have to be fully vaccinated before you will start your program. And based on what kind of vaccine you got and when you got the vaccine, you have different arrival date, which we will explain to you in next slide. Here is information. Canada, Ontario government will allow only 4 vaccines: Pfizer, Mrna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson. If you got one of 4 vaccines, your arrival date deadline will be January 3rd, 2022. You can arrive until January 3rd because you don't have any quarantine. You might have a quarantine even you got one of the 4 vaccines because of what immigration and CBSEA mentioned and announced on their website. They will recast PCR test at Toronto Airport or recast quarantine randomly. So I wish you have a luck. Not all those people and students will have a quarantine, like only few, like a randomly immigration or CBSEA will recast PCR test or quarantine. And also I heard some of the Philippine students got Sinovac or Sinopharm, which means you need 14 days quarantine. Even you are fully vaccinated by Sinovac or Sinopharm, you still require 14 days quarantine. So you must arrive until December 5th. Only few, like 3 weeks left. And also after you arrive, after 14 days quarantine, you need booster shot, Pfizer or Mrna. Then you need another 14 days. Then you are fully vaccinated and you can attend the class. That's why all of the Sinovac Sinopharm students must to arrive in Canada until December 5th. Because you need 14 days quarantine. Right after that, you need a booster shot. Then you need another 14 days. Then you can start your program since January 4th. We will not allow international students to arrive after January 4th, or we will not accept late arrival. So please follow the arrival deadline based on your vaccine. If you haven't got any vaccines until now, please defer your program because you don't have enough time. You should have arrived in Canada November 7th, but today is November 12th, so it already passed. So if you have not got any vaccines, please defer, okay? All right, next. And here is a deadline based on the vaccine. I just wanted to remind you, fully vaccinated students, one of the 4 vaccine, you can arrive until January 3rd. But if you need a booster shot, you need to arrive until December 5th. The further deadline, it also based on your vaccine status. One of the 4 vaccines, you can request the deferral until January 3rd, because you might have chance to arrive in Canada until January 3rd. If you need a booster shot, you must arrive December 5th. So if you will not get your study permit until December 4th, please request deferral. Then we will defer before your program will be closed. Okay? I understand, I know it's a little bit complicated, but please follow the deadline and specific dates based on your vaccine. Okay? And next, our colleague, Maria, will take over and explain. Thanks, Maria.
Okay, thank you, Jay. So on my end, I'm going to discuss with you what you need to prepare before traveling to Canada, upon arrival to Canada, and while on quarantine. Okay, so let's start first with before traveling to Canada. We're going to discuss on the quarantine accommodations, transportation, what are the quarantine resources, the COVID-19 readiness form, and what are the documents that you must bring before going to Canada. Okay, so let's start first with quarantine accommodation. So all students entering Canada who are not fully vaccinated by a Canadian approved vaccine. So as discussed and mentioned by Jay already, if your vaccine is outside Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and J&J, you must immediately isolate for 14 days upon arrival in Canada. As for winter 2022, we have two updates for accommodation. So there are now two options for quarantine accommodation. One is to quarantine at an approved Fanshawe partner hotel or in an approved accommodation. However, we still highly encourage students to stay at our Fanshawe partner hotels. So let's start first with Fanshawe partner hotels. So Fanshawe has negotiated discounted quarantine rates with some hotels in London. The rates are between 55 to 100 CAD per night, and also some hotels also offer meal packages throughout your 14-day quarantine. The booking must be done directly to the hotel. So Fanshawe Cares has a list of the approved partner hotels and also a discounted promo codes that you can use to avail the Fanshawe rate. There's also some questions regarding Fanshawe partner hotels. Can they share or can students share a hotel room? So my answer or response to that is that you must check it first if the hotel allows it, and they might allow you if you have the same flight with the student that you want to share the room with. So second option that you have is your private quarantine accommodation. So for winter 2022, students may now be allowed to stay in a private accommodation in London area or regional campus address. Again, London area or regional campus address. Private accommodation used for quarantine must ensure that the student has their own bedroom, bathroom, strictly no sharing, and have access to food and basic necessities, and shall be isolated with other people during quarantine, especially from people that are 65 years and older or senior citizens, and people that are immunocompromised. So the approval and process to submit a private address for quarantine is to complete and submit your COVID-19 readiness form. So if you're going to answer your COVID-19 readiness form, there is an option there that you will click the private address with private bedroom, bathroom, and no roommates in the quarantine accommodation option. Upon submission of your readiness form, you will receive a response from Fanshawe Cares with a quarantine commitment form. So this is part of our attestation. This is part of our policy that you must complete, sign, and return to Fanshawe Cares before your date of travel to Canada. Once Fanshawe Cares receives your completed quarantine commitment form, it will be reviewed and an approval email will be sent to you with your transportation confirmation. So these are the updates for quarantine accommodation. So I hope these are clear. Again, if you want to avail or choose the quarantine private accommodation, we need to have your quarantine commitment form. Okay, next slide, please. So for transportation, so Fanshawe will still provide free transportation to all international students and their families if they're bringing their families with them, arriving together in Canada. So family members must be in the same flight with the student. So the coverage of transportation will be from Toronto Airport to students' quarantine location if it's necessary, if the student is considered unvaccinated, or to their private accommodation, again, in London City or regional campus address. So which is indicated in your COVID-19 readiness form. Unvaccinated students and their families cannot opt out of our transportation service, as you cannot use public transportation while on quarantine. Again, to avail the service, the free arrival services, you must submit your COVID-19 readiness form. Once submitted, we will use the information shared to book your transportation. Please expect that the transportation booking details will be sent to you 3 to 5 days before the flight. Next slide, please. So now let's go to quarantine resources. So we will be sharing with you links that you can use for quarantine resources. Make sure you have access to food, grocery, medicine delivery while on quarantine. We also highly recommend to have cashless transaction while buying for your basic necessities. So in Canada, Canada accepts debit card and credit card. Just make sure that before you travel, you already informed your local bank, BPI or BDO, etc. in the Philippines that you're going to use your card in Canada. Students and their families also can go out of their rooms or quarantine accommodations while on quarantine. You cannot go to restaurants or public places or visit a family during your quarantine. If you are staying in a partner hotel, as part of your booking, some hotels already have food that can deliver straight to your room. So again, you cannot go out while you're finishing your quarantine. Visitors or guests are not also allowed while on quarantine. Okay, so now let's proceed to COVID-19 readiness form. So the COVID-19 readiness form, this is a form used to track all students for winter semester, new and current students. So every student must submit the Fanshawe COVID-19 readiness form before they arrive in Canada. So this is required for new and current students, vaccinated or not. It is required for all students. So in the COVID-19 readiness form, you will notify the college of your intent to travel. You will share there your arrival date and flight information, requests for free shuttle pickup if you want to avail the transportation service. Share your quarantine plan to us, the address and contact information. You will share there your vaccine status. And in the COVID-19 readiness form, you'll also commit or stating in there that you will commit to quarantine rules. So it must be submitted to Fanshawe Cares at least 10 days before date of travel. So why 10 days? Again, it's to give us time to also review your travel and quarantine plans. And again, also give you allowance in case there are questions from Fanshawe Cares. You can still update it and resubmit it to Fanshawe Cares before your date of travel. So again, at least 10 days, you must submitted already your COVID-19 readiness form. So who are form respondents, current students in Canada. So if you're already in third semester, second semester, you are still required to submit the readiness form. And also students that are now traveling to Canada for winter semester, also required to answer and submit the COVID-19 readiness form. The form can be accessed via this link, as you can see in the slide, in which you will use your web advisor login details. By now, I hope everyone already have their web advisor account. We sent the login details the same time we sent your invoice. So for example, you haven't received yet your web advisor login details, please check your inbox, spam, or junk folders. However, if it's still not there, you cannot still retrieve it, please have a live chat with our IT. So you can have your web advisor account and accomplish the COVID-19 readiness form. Next slide, please. So upon submission of the readiness form, a summary of the COVID-19 readiness form will be available and can be downloaded in your Fanshawe online account or FOL. If you requested, again, for a free shuttle service, you will receive a second email with shuttle instructions 3 to 5 days before you arrive in Canada. Let me reiterate, again, you can't travel to Canada without submission and approval of your readiness form. It is part of our policy. We need to make sure that you have an approved quarantine plan before traveling to Canada. So the summary of the COVID-19 readiness form is a proof that Fanshawe approved your travel and quarantine plan. So you can show this to border officers or airline staff. So if there are changes in your flight or quarantine accommodation. For example, your flight was moved to a different date or there were changes in your quarantine address, it must be reported immediately to Fanshawe Cares via this email. So you can email them, informing them that there are changes in your flight and in your quarantine accommodation. And then the student, upon adjusting all that needs to be adjusted, new flight or new quarantine accommodation, you must resubmit your COVID-19 readiness form. So I hope that's also clear with us. The COVID-19 readiness form, again, this is required for all students. Next slide, please. So now, what are the documents that you must bring before traveling to Canada? So we have a list already here. So one, you have your negative RT-PCR test taken 72 hours before flight. So again, even though you are fully vaccinated, you have Pfizer or 2 doses of Pfizer and 4 approved vaccines, it's still required for you to present a negative RT-PCR test. You have your passport with visa stamp. You have your letter of introduction or your study permit approval letter. You also have your ArriveCan app, which is required for all travelers, which I will further discuss later on in the presentation. You also have your letter of acceptance, the most active letter of acceptance. You must bring that. And also the receipts that you've received from Fanshawe. So you have the 2,300 CAD deposit receipt and also your balance of your tuition fee receipt. So you must bring all of those receipts that you've received from Fanshawe. We also have your proof of funds, COVID-19 readiness plan confirmation. So again, this is the summary of your readiness form approved by Fanshawe Cares. You can download it, print it, and then show it to the immigration officers. We also have the confirmation regarding isolation and access to food. So there are many questions regarding this one. Do we still need to have a confirmation regarding isolation access food if we have COVID-19 readiness plan confirmation? Yes, you still need to have a confirmation regarding isolation and access to food. So for this one, we don't have a template for this. Just provide a certification or confirmation letter with your signature stating that you don't have any senior citizen or immunocompromised staying with you during your quarantine and you have access to food during the duration of your isolation. You can mention there what are the apps that you're going to use to buy food, buy grocery, for example, and how you will pay it. So you will go. You're going to mention there that you have your debit card or credit card that you can use to pay the basic necessities. Next, we have transportation booking details. So if you've requested for a shuttle service, we will send the details of that 3 to 5 days before your flight date. Accommodation details. So if you've booked a hotel, the booking details sent by the hotel, that's your accommodation details. And then also we have vaccination records. We also have many questions for vaccination records. So what do I need to present before traveling to Canada? So for vaccination records, so in the Philippines, we have vaccination cards or vaccination IDs. I suggest that you can supplement it with LGU certificate because vaccination IDs differs in different provinces. Some vaccination IDs are printed, some vaccination IDs are handwritten, some are in Filipino, and some are not legible enough or not readable enough. So to help or to supplement your vaccination ID, I recommend for you to have an LGU certification with English translation. So vaccination ID and LGU certificate. Is BOQ required? No, it's not required in Canada, but if you've already requested for it, that's fine. So as long as you have your vaccination ID and a certification in English translation, you're good, okay? And then lastly, Canadian currency, no need to bring a large amount of money. And you have your mask and alcohol at all times. Please make sure you have your mask and alcohol before traveling to Canada in your airplane or even upon arrival. So that's for what you need to prepare before traveling to Canada. Now let's go to upon arrival in Canada, what you need to prepare. So you have your arrive can with you and study work permits. So let's start first with arrive can. So I've mentioned this earlier. So what is a arrive can? So students entering Canada must use arrive can to provide mandatory travel information required for entry. So as early as now, you can go actually, if you have your phones with you, can now go to Apple Store or Play Store if you're on Android to download already the Arrive Can. So when you are boarding to the flight, you can just enter the travel information. So in the Arrive Can app, you must upload all information hours before your flight. You will provide there your contact information and quarantine information in the app. The information that you provided also in the Arrive Can app and COVID-19 readiness form must match. So it means that you should have similar information in your Arrive Can and in your COVID-19 readiness form. You must also be ready to show your Arrive Can receipt to the border services officer in the airport. So you should always have your Arrive Can receipt with you in case border officer will ask for it. You have it already with you. Next, we have your study and work permits. Okay, so the documents that you have right now is your passport with visa stamp, which will be used in entering Canada, and letter of introduction or your study permit approval letter. However, these are not yet the actual study permit. The study permit will be given to you on the first point of entry in Canada. For example, you have a direct flight from Manila to Toronto. You will get your study permit in Toronto Airport. Again, first airport or first point of entry in Canada, that's where you're going to get your study permit. How about if I have a layover? For example, I have a layover in Vancouver, then going to Toronto. So as Vancouver is your first point of entry, this is where you're going to get your study permit. Again, study permit is in the first airport or first point of entry to Canada. Let me just also remind, the study permit is different from the visa that you currently have. And please do not leave the airport without your study permit. So this is very important. You should not leave the airport, your first airport, without your study permit, because that's your identification. If someone asks you, you have your study permit with you. If your program has co-op or placement, you might also receive your work visa together with your study permit. So upon submission of your visa application, there was a question there asking if your program has a working component. So if you said yes and provided the 4th page of your LOA stating or mentioning there that your program has a co-op or working component, you might receive your work visa together with your study permit in your first point of entry. In case your work permit was not processed, it's fine, as placements and co-ops will come much later in your program. So you can just inform your program coordinator that you don't have yet your work permit, and they can help you in processing it. So when you are now in Canada, so just make sure to process it before the start of your placement or co-op. Again, study permit is issued in the first airport when you land in Canada. You might also receive your work permit if you already processed that upon visa application. So for winter 2022 students, you will now be asked to upload your study permit through this JADU form link, as you can see here in the slides. Again, we will provide you with the helpful links to locate where will you upload your study permit. Okay, so that's the study and work permits. Okay, so now let's go to while on quarantine, what do you need to expect? So you have your daily check-ins and COVID-19 tests. So let's start with daily check-ins. So you will receive quarantine checks from time to time from the Government of Canada and from Fanshawe. So you will receive a daily check-in email or phone calls from Fanshawe International or Fanshawe Cares during your quarantine. The call will come from the number that you can see here in the slide, 519-452-4430. So these are opportunities for you to speak someone from the international office about any questions or concerns. So for example, you have questions or concerns while you're in quarantine, you may call our Fanshawe staff and we'll be glad to help you or answer your inquiries. You might also receive a phone call from a live government agent or automated system. The number is what you can see in the slide, so 188-336-7735. So please answer this call. So if it is not this number, so for example, you are receiving call aside from these two numbers that you can see in the slide, please don't provide your personal information. It might be a scam. Okay, but if you see these numbers, 519 and 188, these are from Fanshawe and the live government. You must also complete the daily check-ins through the Arrive Cans. It's very easy. Takes 1 to 2 minutes to complete. And screening officer also may come to your quarantine address to check if you are there and following the quarantine rules. Please be reminded that Canada is very strict in following quarantine guidelines. So as I've mentioned earlier, please do not leave your quarantine rooms or accommodations. Please do not meet with your family or friends while you're finishing your quarantine. And lastly, please wear a mask and answer the door if a screening officer may go to your quarantine address. And please don't panic. You are not in trouble. These are just part of the protocol. And lastly, we have the COVID-19 test. So all students must present a negative COVID-19 test result to your airline prior to boarding the international flight to Canada. Okay, the test must be RT-PCR, again, taken 72 hours prior to your departure to Canada. For unvaccinated students, you will receive a COVID-19 test upon arrival in the airport, and you will also have a day 8 COVID test using home testing kits. So don't worry, the instructions are there, so you can easily take your day 8 COVID-19 test even without the help of a physical person there in your room. The instructions are already included. For vaccinated students, you might receive random tests too. Again, the decision if you will be randomly tested or not will only happen upon arrival in Canada. If ever the border officer will ask you to take the test, you have to inform us so we can update your transportation, and we have to follow the backup plan you created and bring you to your chosen quarantine location. So you may contact us, Fanshawe Cares, and you may also contact us using the transportation details that we've given to you 3 to 5 days before your flight date. So those are what you need to expect while in quarantine: daily check-ins from us and from Government of Canada, and also COVID-19 tests. So now we're going to proceed on the next part. So after quarantine, so this will be discussed by Ina.
Yes. So thank you so much, Maria and Jay. And also, I would like to remind everyone in the chat box, please do not provide your personal information in the chat box for everyone. So if you want to connect, please do it privately, because this session is again being recorded. So for after quarantine, of course, you can go out. You can go out with your friends, with your families, and you can already set up your bank account in Canada. So there are a lot of branches of any local Canadian banks in London City. If you have a GIC already, for example, in Scotiabank, you can go to the nearest Scotiabank branch and then activate your GICs, and so that you can already withdraw your money. Also, you can apply for a social insurance number or SIN. Actually, you can do this online because our SIN application is being done online since the pandemic. So as long as you have the documents with you, you can already apply for an SIN. So the SIN is very important. if you are in the Philippines, it's actually a hybrid of TIN, your tax identification number, and also your social insurance. So it's like a combination of that. That's SIN. So whenever you will apply for a job, because you will be taxed for it, you will have to provide your SIN to your employer. Also, we will be providing you the dates for the Fanshawe orientations later on. And of course, please do explore London City, since you will be staying there for probably a year or two or even more, like Jay. And also, please do practice physical distancing within London City and also in the campus. And with that, welcome, Falcon. We call our students Falcon. So welcome. And we know that you got this for winter 2022 intake. So just to give you a brief intro again for Fanshawe, we have 21,000 full-time students. Many of our students are also international, representing 104 different countries. And for sure, you guys know already that the Philippines is the second biggest market in the international international student population of our school. So I can see that you've also connected in the chat box. There are a lot of Filipinos taking similar programs. So I hope you will meet those Filipino students in winter when you go to the campus. Also, we are a leader in work integrated learning, by many of our programs having co-op and placements as well. And of course, our full-time programs are also eligible for a post-graduation work permit or PGWP. And if let's say you want to transition, your goal is to transition from a study permit holder to a work permit and eventually a permanent resident in Canada, taking a program that is eligible for a post-graduation work permit will be the best way to do it. And now let's talk about the academics or your grades. Since you are in a study permit in Canada, you have to, of course, excel and put your studies as your priority. So here is the grading requirement of Fanshawe College. So if you want to apply for a scholarship, or if you want to be part of the honor roll in that semester or after graduation, you probably want to aim 3.0 and above as your grade for the GPA. Also, in terms of academic integrity, we do take it very seriously in Fanshawe. So plagiarism, submitting the same assignment or essay or project with your classmates or whatnot. Also, submitting any part or any component of let's say, a work created by someone else without permission or doing citation will also compromise academic integrity. Also, cheating in exams, even if it's a quiz or not, that will also compromise your academic integrity. So there will be warnings provided by our professors if ever they think that your work is, a percentage of that one is somehow not cited very well. If you are probably having a hard time doing citations, or you want to check if your research paper is correct, if there's nothing plagiarized, be cited well, we have the Learning Center who can help you. And also there are some tools in the Fanshawe Online, your FOL, that will help you check your work before submitting it to your professors. In terms of our online tools, for winter 2022, 75% of all of our programs are mostly face-to-face, but some are still online. That's the reason why we are asking our students to go to Canada 1 month before the start of class, depending, of course, with your vaccination status, because we are no longer allowing our students to start program outside Canada because it will affect your PG. So as a Fanshawe student, you have 2 online tools that will be your best friends. So first is the Web Advisor and also the Fanshawe Online. Later on will be actually, apart from the recording of the session and also the copy of the slides, we will be sharing you a file that will provide information about the helpful links that you can check out, especially the online tools that you will be using in the entire duration of your program. So what's the difference between Web Advisor and Fanshawe Online? So when you start your program in Fanshawe, you will have your own Web Advisor and Fanshawe Online. Your Web Advisor is your administrative account. So you will have to update your Canadian contact information there, because right now it's still your address and number in the Philippines or wherever you are. Also, your class schedule will be posted in the Web Advisor. The fee deadlines are there. If ever you will be awarded a scholarship, you will also see that in your Web Advisor. Fanshawe Online, or FOL, on the other hand, is the tool that you will be using for your academics. So if you want to download your course notes, if you want to check out the syllabus of your program, if you want to access the assignments, some online discussions posted by your professors, and also the grades. And you can also interact using the Fanshawe Online with your classmates, and also that's your email in email access as a Fanshawe student. So both Web Advisor and FOL will share the same username and password. So there's at least it will not mix and match when you are trying to log in. And again, we have sent your login details when we issued your invoice a few months back. So if you can't see it in your inbox, you can see it in your spam or junk folder, like what Maria mentioned, please have a live chat with IT because we cannot give you your login details. Also, if you're applying through an agent, because the Web Advisor was sent to you directly to your email address. So please book an appointment, do a live chat with IT because they might ask you some first security questions before they can provide your login details. And once that you have the login details from the IT, then please do access your Web Advisor because you also need it to submit the COVID-19 readiness form. So for the FOL, like I said, it's more on like the academic access to things for classlets, content, grades, and quizzes as well. So for the Web Advisor, this is a snapshot of Web Advisor. So once that you have your Canadian mobile number and you have your Canadian address, please do update your demographics because like I said, right now, your address in our Fanshawe system will be your home address in, for example, in the Philippines, or probably when you applied, your address is in Singapore or in Middle East. So if let's say you will request for a document through the registrar's office while you're studying your program and you did not update your demographics with your Canadian mobile and also address, it seems like you are still a student outside Canada. So please do update that once that you have that information ready. Also, for students who would like to see or to view their payments in Fanshawe, if let's say you are trying to prepare for your documents coming into Canada, if you can no longer retrieve your Flywire receipt or the receipt that you paid when you used Web Advisor, please go to your Web Advisor account and then click My Account Statement. So that will show you all the payments that you've made to Fanshawe, all the charges that we've made, especially your first semester tuition fee. So you can use that as your proof of payment to Fanshawe College. And also for the class schedule, we will be providing the class schedule for our students at least 2 weeks before the start of class. So it will also depend on the program division on when they are uploading the class schedules. Also, just a reminder, you won't receive your class schedules if you don't have a study permit approval uploaded in the link that Maria shared, and also when you haven't submitted your COVID-19 readiness form, because those two documents, those two submissions will inform us that you are ready to go to Canada because you have an approved study permit and we know that you are coming to Canada at this time. So by then you will be able to receive your class schedule after 2 business days. So again, please make sure that you submit your COVID-19 readiness form and upload your study permit approval once you have it before we issue your class schedules. Also, we are not allowing students to change sections because our program division are the ones who are assigning students based on their program. Changing sections are not allowed, or changing class schedules just so you can do part-time job or whatnot is not being allowed. So it's predetermined already by the program division, and you will see it 2 weeks before the start of class. Also, for the scholarships, all of our students are eligible for any scholarship after the first semester, because majority of our scholarships are merit-based, meaning we have to check your GPA for that previous term to be able to apply for a scholarship. Scholarships or other bursaries would range from 500 to 2,000 Canadian dollars. And for our students who took SDS, or if let's say you just happen to have an IELTS academic score and it's still valid by the time you start your program in January, you have a chance to be nominated to our English scholarship for Filipinos. So this scholarship is for students who will have a IELTS academic, and also we need your first semester GPA. That's why the disbursement or the awarding of the scholarship will happen during your second semester. So once that you start your program, probably after a few weeks, after start the program, you will receive an email from me about this English scholarship nomination. So right now, you don't need to do anything. Please just wait for my email, probably end of January, about the nomination for the English scholarship for winter 2022. Also, for the bus pass, full-time London students in any of our London campuses were already billed for a bus pass for winter 2022. So since it's done annually, it's billed annually, your bus pass will run from January 2022 until August 2022. So because that's the end of the academic year in Canada. So you will be billed again for September 2022 until August 2023. Also, the bus pass, you can use it anytime. It's not restricted to buses going to the campus only. You can use the bus pass going to the grocery or going to the pharmacy or going to a restaurant to spend some time with your friends. If you're going to pick up your kid or your spouse, you can also use the bus pass. You can use it 24/7, even on holidays and weekends. So your fan card or your ID will be used as your bus pass. If you're familiar with Beep Card, if you're living here in probably in Metro Manila or in Cebu, I think in Cebu you also use Beep Card. So you just need to tap it every time you ride the bus. So again, it's free for all of our students in London campus. And since it's winter time, it's very timely as well for you to download the On-Time app. So the On-Time app will show you the exact schedule of the bus going to the nearest bus stop of your accommodation. So if let's say it's snowing and you are going to the campus and there's a bus stop near your place, you don't need to wait in the bus stop or bus waiting shed. You can wait until, let's say, the bus is 2 minutes away from your bus stop, so that it will also save you from waiting in a snowy day in London. So that's the app that you can download. It's On Time. So it's not like here in the Philippines that you really have to wait and it's not updated real time. So the On Time app that we are introducing to you guys right now is very much up to date. And you can be able to track the schedule of the buses near your bus stop. And also for health insurance, like what Jay said, it's already included in your tuition and fees. So we have on-campus medical clinic, We also have a dental clinic that you can go to inside the campus, and our dental assisting and dental hygiene students are the ones who will probably do your procedure. So you can check that out. Also, if you would like to seek a consultation or get, like, for example, a prescription, you don't need to go outside the campus. We have the on-campus clinic that with that one, and it's again part of your insurance. There's also a lot of accredited walk-in clinics and hospitals around London City, being London City as a medical hub of the province, and also our students, you are covered with More Care. So More Care is our is our healthcare provider. That's the name. And our students are covered with health insurance starting December 2. So let's say you are on quarantine, you're arriving December 4. Knock on wood, if you develop any symptoms, and you need to seek medical consultation or medical assistance, you will be covered by insurance. Also, our insurance card will only be available 2 weeks after the 10th day from the start of class, because during the start of class, we still have a window for deferral and withdrawal of our winter 2022 intake students. So we still don't have the final list of students that we can endorse to More Care, so that they can issue the health insurance card. So probably you try to go to More Care and check your insurance card. It's still not available because we haven't endorsed the final list of students yet, because there are still some students right now that are still waiting for their visa, and might still wait until the end of December. So again, please wait until 10th day from start of class before we can endorse the finalists of students to More Care to print your insurance card or to save your insurance card in your form. There's probably several questions about family members adding it to More Care. So our More Care, More Care will allow you to add your dependents in the insurance. So you have a window of 30 days from the start of class. We will also be providing you the link in the document that we will provide what is the process of adding your dependents. So for you as a student of Fanshawe, you are covered with insurance because it's already included in your tuition and fees. But if you're going to add your dependents, let's say your spouse and also your kids, you have to pay for their insurance. So I hope that's clear. And also, we have the student career services. So please do take advantage of our activities and our service, because we have job fairs all year round. We have Resumania. We can help you with any field and clinical placement. Also co-op in your program. You have your own co-op and placement consultants. You will also have a subject to help you prepare for your co-op so that you will be guided. Career coaching as well. If you want to know what is the career pathway for me in Canada for after I finish my program, you can talk to our student career service about that one. And also the Fanshawe Works. So it's a 2-day workshop that we started in 2019, fall 2019, and we've been doing it all every intake. So the Fanshawe Works, it will happen in December. A preview was shown in the video a while ago, and the Fanshawe Works will provide insights from our current students who are taking part-time and trying to also balance out their studies while doing part-time, and also the testimonials of our students who are working full-time already after graduation. There will be also employer panels that will also give you an insight on what are they looking for a part-time job employee. What are the things that they can, what are the tips that they can provide for job hunting and whatnot. And also for the key dates for winter 2022, the first day of arrival for students is December 2. We don't recommend our students to come to Canada earlier, because as you may know, for the past few intakes, if you are traveling to Canada earlier, you might be tagged an unessential traveler, a non-essential traveler. So you might be denied of entry, or you might be offloaded in your flight. So please do book starting December 2. And again, if you're coming into Canada with a vaccine that is not approved or outside the 4 vaccines approved in Canada, and you need a 3rd dose, you have to go to Canada by December 5. We are not allowing students to come in later because, again, like what Jay said, you have to complete your 14-day quarantine. You have to complete you have to take your 3rd shot and rest again for 14 days. And it has to be done before the start of class. So December 5 is the last date. We are not allowing students to come to Canada on a later date. Also, Fanshawe Works will happen on December 20 and 21. I believe International Center will be sharing this information to you guys as well so that you can register. Also, the International Welcome Session will happen on January 3. And the first time that you will meet your professor, your program coordinator, and also your classmates will be on January 4, which is the program-specific orientation. So that's the first time that you will meet them. There will be an overview about the program, what there would be your expectations. Also, if ever you have to purchase already books, what would it be like in your first day of classes, especially if it's face-to-face. You will be discussing that over during the program-specific orientation in January 4. And of course, the first day of classes will be January 5th. So we really hope that you will do well with your program, with your semester, your first semester in Fanshawe. And hopefully you will also be enjoying your time in London City. And also, since we are back to the campus, all of our students are back to the campus, please do drop by and meet the International Center team. So our International Center team really focuses, of course, to international student concerns. So we have the immigration support. If ever your agent will no longer help you when you have an approved study permit, for example, you want to extend your study permit in Canada, if you have questions about your study permit or about your status in Canada or your options, you can talk to our immigration advisor in the International Center. We also have the exchange coordinator because for 2022, probably we'll have student exchanges as well. If ever you have any questions about, let's say, you are trying to add a second program, you are planning to shift the program, or you have any worries about as an international student, you can talk to any of our student life coordinators or SLC. We also have arrival service team. So they are pretty much the ones approving and reviewing your COVID-19 readiness forms. Likewise, we have the international admissions. So they are the ones issuing your letter of acceptance. And you have us, the recruitment team. So Jay, me, and Maria, we are part of the recruitment team. So we are representing many countries, many international students as well. So I believe Jay will be in Canada in January. So I hope you will see him there during his visit. So please do drop by. So our International Center team, our immigration advisor, and student life coordinators, they can meet you online if you still prefer online, or they can also do like a consultation, but you have to book your consultation prior, both online and face-to-face, before you can even talk to them. So please book ahead if you have a concern when you are dropping by the International Center. And also, please connect with us. All of the information are usually posted in our website. And also, we send information to students via their email. And also, please do follow us or check out our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. For the YouTube, you can explore Fanshawe International because our recorded sessions, especially for the virtual open house and the Fanshawe Cares series, is also uploaded there. So if ever you miss anything, you can just review those recorded sessions. So Fanshawe International or Fanshawe College. So we have, for the Q&A, I believe we have questions in the QA box in Zoom, but we've also consolidated all of your questions from our emails, from our WhatsApp, from our Viber conversations as well, because we pretty much know that these questions might be the same with other students as well. So here are the common questions, and we'll be answering it one by one. If ever there are some questions that will be unanswered, we will be responding to you later on. So for the topics for our Q&A, so we have topics on visa and study permit, traveling to Canada, vaccine, quarantine, COVID-19 readiness form, student services, and programs as well. So for the first topic, so visa and study permit, what are my options if I don't have the visa and study permit approval by December? So it will really depend on your situation. Like what Jay said, if you are fully vaccinated, you can still wait until probably end of December or third week of December for your study permit. And then you can travel to Canada early in January, as long as you come and arrive in Canada by January 3, because most likely you are not required to quarantine and you don't need a booster shot. So that's one thing. But if let's say you have you're fully vaccinated with Sinovac, you are not considered as fully vaccinated in Canada, so you really have to come to Canada by December 5. If let's say you don't have a study permit around end of November, you don't have any feedback yet from IRCC with regards to the decision, our recommendation is to defer to the next available intake. So you have to check if your program is offered in May 2022 or if the next intake available is September 2022. If you have an agent, please reach out to your agent so that they can process your deferral. If you are a direct applicant with no agent, please log into your application account and leave a comment about your deferral so that we can process your new LOA. We are not accepting deferral requests via email, so it has to be done through your agent or through your application account if you are a direct applicant. Also, if I defer my intake to summer 2022, let's say you don't really have a visa by end of December and you got a visa in February, do I need to reapply for visa? So the answer for this one is no, because most likely when you applied for visa and it's approved, your the validity of your study permit will cover the entire duration of your program. So if let's say you started your program in the next available intake, which is summer 2022 or May, most likely it's still valid. So you don't need to reapply for visa. Probably once that you have your new LOA, you just need to submit a web form so that you can share the new LOA that you have so that your record will be updated. And because you deferred, most likely your study permit validity is shorter than your new program duration. So if you will be in this case, you don't have to worry. Again, you can still come to Canada. It's just 4 months short or probably 8 months short because you changed your intake. So when you go to Canada 90 days before your study permit expires, you can talk to our immigration advisor in the International Center so that they can help you with the study permit extension. So we will help you with the documents. We will inform you about the process, but you have to process it on your own. So that won't really, it's not as tedious as your first application for your visa. So the study permit extension in Canada is pretty shorter and more efficient. And also, how can I get a co-op work permit? So when you apply for a study permit, you will probably come across, let's say, a question if the program that you're studying has a work component. So if it says that in your LOA, the 4th page of your LOA, that it has a placement or a co-op, then most likely you have to upload that part of the LOA when you apply for a study permit. So when you go to Canada, when you land in Canada, aside from your study permit, you will also receive a co-op work permit. And if let's say you forgot to apply for a co-op work permit, you don't have to worry because your placements or your co-op will probably start late in your first semester or in your second or third semester. So you will still have time to apply for a co-op work permit when you are in London City. And again, if you don't have a co-op work permit because you did not know that your program has co-op or placement, you can talk to our immigration advisor so that they can help you apply for your co-op work permit. And another common question for visa and study permit is that, can I work before the start of class? The answer is no, because you are only allowed to work part-time once that your class starts. Even with your OWP, they cannot work. They cannot start working until your class starts, because their visa is also dependent on your study permit. So probably you can start looking for jobs, but you cannot start your part-time job before the start of class. So I hope that one is very clear for all of our students. You don't need a work permit to apply for jobs. Your study permit will already have a note in that document that you can work 20 hours per week as an international student in Canada. So questions about traveling to Canada, here are the common questions that we receive. So I don't have a Canadian number yet. What should I use in ArriveCan app and COVID-19 readiness form? Maria, can you answer this question, please?
Okay, so for example, you don't have yet a Canadian number. You can use your WhatsApp number if you have. And then, as mentioned by Jay here, you can also use the phone book company. So as long as the contact that you provide to us, we can easily contact you with that. So you can use your PH number or WhatsApp number if you don't have yet your Canadian SIM card. Okay, so do I need a travel support letter to be able to travel and pass immigration? So I'll answer this also, Ina. Okay, so for winter 2022, we are no longer providing travel support letter as we are part of the DLI list for COVID-19, and we have your COVID-19 readiness form approval. You can provide that to the border officer to pass immigration.
Next question, do I need to secure a travel exemption for my spouse and children? Probably Jay, can you answer this one?
Oh, actually, no. There's no travel exemption, but based on your children's age. If your children is under 12 and there's no quarantine, but if you guys have to have a quarantine, of course, your children is minor, so they have to stay with you guys, with family, like a parents. But if you don't need the quarantine, they don't need a quarantine. But above 12, yes, they need a quarantine.
Yes, so please check the IRCC website for the latest information, because it keeps on changing every now and then. So before taking a flight, make sure that you are updated and you know the policy, especially if you're traveling with your spouse and with your kids as well. So another question, common question, I think it's also part of the Q&A a while ago. If my flight got canceled, what should I do? If, let's say, you are considered as unvaccinated, if you are vaccinated with Sinovac, and the next available flight is after December 5, you have to contact us. But most likely, if the program division will not allow students arriving late or starting the program late, you might need to defer to the next available intake. But if, let's say, you are fully vaccinated with the 4 Canadian approved vaccine, your flight got canceled, you can rebook your flight to the next available one. Just make sure it's before January 3, and then submit your COVID-19 readiness form. Because the previous form, we have to cancel that one and we have to update your records in our system. And especially if you're going to request for transportation, we have to book your transportation for the most recent flight details that you will provide. So for the vaccine, what vaccine record is accepted in Canada? This one has been repeatedly answered. Your vaccination card will be fine. Just make sure that it's in English. If it's not that readable, your vaccination certificate will do. The BOQ or Bureau of Quarantine yellow card is not required in Canada, but if you have it, you're pretty much free to show it to prove that you're fully vaccinated. Also, there's a lot of questions about this one in the Q&A. If I received a booster shot or an mRNA vaccine in the Philippines or in their home country, when should I travel? So for these students, they got most likely Sinovac as their first two vaccines, and they got a booster shot of mRNA, probably in Pfizer or Moderna. So for these students, we still recommend you to travel to Canada by December 5, because you are still considered as unvaccinated because your initial vaccine is not among the 4 approved vaccines in Canada based on the federal government policy. So you will still have to quarantine for 14 days, and the assessment of your vaccine records will only happen in Canada. So we don't know yet if their vaccine records will be approved by the London Health Middlesex Health Unit. So it's better to be safe. So our recommendation is still travel by December 5, even if you got an mRNA shot. So I hope that is clear, and the questions in the Q&A about these types of this type of scenario is also has been responded as well. And then, will I be exempted from quarantine if my first dose is AstraZeneca and then the second dose is Sinovac? So for you to be fully vaccinated, it has to be 2 doses of Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca. The only acceptable 1 dose is Johnson & Johnson's. But if, let's say, you got AstraZeneca plus Sinovac, you're still not considered as fully vaccinated. So again, please refer to our chart. We will also be providing a chart, the chart that we sent a while ago in our in the materials for the winter 2022 intake, so that you can always refer back to that chart based on your situation. And also, what is the process to get my booster shot? So when you arrive in Canada, you have to report your vaccine records in the website of our Middlesex London Health Unit. So they are the ones who will be assessing your vaccine records. So even if you are fully vaccinated with the 4 vaccines, you still have to upload your your vaccine records. And the website will require you to input a Canadian address. That's the reason why you can't upload it. You can't submit your vaccine records when you're still here in the Philippines, especially if you don't have a Canadian address. So majority of our students will have the Canadian address when they land in Canada. So once that you submit that one, you will receive an information about the approval of your vaccine, if you are fully vaccinated, and also if you need a 3rd shot, they will also provide the information on where and when you can get your 3rd shot. The 3rd shot or the booster shot in Canada is free. You don't need to pay for it. You just have to wait for the instruction from our London Middlesex Health Unit about that one. And then once that you receive your vaccine records, your 3rd shot, you just have to upload it in the website of Fanshawe that will allow you to go to the campus to start your program. And then for quarantine, I think this one has been explained by Maria already. You can share a room with someone who is not related during quarantine. Just make sure to inform the hotel where you will be staying for quarantine, and just make sure that you guys are in the same flight. If you're not in the same flight, most likely the hotel will not also allow you. Furthermore, our Fanshawe Cares team will not also allow you to quarantine in the same group. Can I use the pool and gym on quarantine? Maria, can you answer this one?
Okay, so can I use the pool and gym while on quarantine? Unfortunately, no. As mentioned earlier, you cannot leave your quarantine room or your quarantine accommodation as you finish your 14-day isolation.
Is there someone?
in
Yeah, you can answer this one too.
Okay, so is there someone in Fanshawe who can help me with my concerns while on quarantine? So as I've mentioned earlier, we have the daily check-ins and phone calls from Fanshawe Cares. So if you have any questions, concerns regarding your stay, or encountered questions or concerns as you finish your isolation, you can just call us, contact us, or email us, the Fanshawe Cares, or you can send us an email.
And then for fully vaccinated students, I think this is the last question. Can you answer this, Maria?
Okay, so if fully vaccinated students again are not required to take COVID-19 test. However, again, if ever the border officer will ask you to take the test, you have to inform us so we can update your transportation, and we have to follow the backup plan that you created and bring you to your chosen quarantine location. So again, you can contact us with the number that we've provided earlier. You can also contact the transportation using the transportation details that we've sent to you 3 to 5 days before your travel date to Canada.
And I can answer this one. Will there be free transportation after my quarantine? So the answer is no. The reason why we are providing free transportation for students and also for their families, because you are not allowed to use public transportation when you arrive in Toronto Airport. So after quarantine, since you are now free to use the public transportation, if you will be moving to your private accommodation, you have to plan or also book your own transportation. And then for the COVID-19 readiness form, how can I retrieve my web advisor login details? You can check your inbox and spam and junk folders. Also, if you still cannot retrieve that one, your login details in your email, please have a live chat with IT. We will be including the link for live chat with IT in the document that we will provide. Also, can I save my answers and later on add the study permit approval once I have it and then submit the COVID-19 readiness form? The answer is no, because there's no save button still in your COVID-19 readiness form. So you have to finalize everything. You have to book your flight. You have to have your study permit. If you need to quarantine, you have to finalize your quarantine before submitting the COVID-19 readiness form. Also, if you guys decided to avail the free transportation, but what if you decide to avail the free transportation and you previously said no, can you resubmit the form? You can actually just message Fanshawe Cares team. So you don't need to resubmit the form. Just tell them that you had a change of mind and you're now requesting for transportation. So for students who are required to quarantine, transportation is automatically given. You are not allowed for anyone to pick you up from the airport, because again, you're not allowed to interact with anyone else from outside your family or yourself during that time. So we will provide transportation for you. If let's say you're fully vaccinated and you have a family member who can fetch you from the airport, you just let us know that you are not getting the transportation. So we will not be booking your transportation when you submit your COVID-19 readiness form. And how long should I wait for Fanshawe to confirm or approve my submission? So normally it's approved within 5 to 7 business days, but please expect some delays, especially towards the start of the intake, because aside from you guys who are here, there are also a lot of international students coming into Canada from other countries. So we are expecting a lot of submissions every day, and we are carefully reviewing it, answering your questions as well. So please bear with us. And also, just make sure that you're not submitting the form just for follow-up. So if you need a follow-up, just email Fanshawe Cares. So don't resubmit the form, because if you have multiple forms in your record under your student number, it will be a harder time for us to track which one is the most updated one. So please refrain from submitting forms multiple times. So please wait and bear with us. But for sure, we will be approving and we'll get back to you with your questions as well. And is there any other way to submit the form? The answer is no. The COVID-19 readiness form we've been using it since 2020. So please make sure that you have your web advisor. There's no way to manually submitting the form. It really has to be uploaded online. And then for the student services, when will I receive my insurance card? Again, it will be ready for printing after the 10th day from start of class. So second or third week of January, third week or fourth week of January, you will receive it. Also, how can you get your fan card? So right now, the fan card website, the Fanshawe website for the fan card, it's not yet updated, but we will be providing an update on where can you pick up your card in London City, where is the printing, because previously there are several spots in London City within the campus where you can drop by and get your card because classes are online. But now that is fully, a majority are face-to-face. There will be probably updated information, so please wait for email about that one. So for sure, we will be sending that one to you as well. So how can I reach my professor or program coordinator when I have concerns with classes? Jay, as a former student of Fanshawe, probably you can answer this one.
Okay, how can I reach my professors or program coordinator when I have a concern with my classes? After we provide your schedule, we usually, not us, program divisions usually provide a schedule 2 weeks before program start date. After program division provide a schedule, in your FOL, you will see all of your classmates and your professors' contact information. In Canada, we are not sharing cell phone number. We are only sharing the email. So you can send them email and you can ask them to change your schedule, or you also can make online appointments to change your schedule. But it is not guaranteed because each section, so even you will study same program, one program has a few different sections, A to F or A to D. Each section has a different schedule. And also each section, we have to put limited students for the classroom quality. So we cannot guarantee to change your schedule, but if there is a space, of course, program coordinator will let you change. So please contact them through the FOL. You can find their contact information in your FOL.
All right, thank you so much, Jay. And who should I contact for international student concerns? Like I said, we have the International Center. We have student life coordinators and also immigration advisors, depending on your concerns. So you can just book an appointment with them. It's up to you if you want to talk to them, to reach out to them via online appointment or face-to-face. And then, is there any volunteer opportunities in campus where I can participate in? Probably, Jay, can you answer this one?
Of course, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities. Right now, no, because of the COVID, but since January, yes. Even we create a new volunteer position for digital marketing. So if you have any work experience or background, you can apply digital marketing volunteer. And of course, we are willing to have country volunteer students every intake. So we always post on the Facebook and Instagram and in the international website. So keep watching on it and apply once we hire.
Yes, that's good. And or programs. So for students with conditional letter of acceptance, if you have your letter of acceptance with you, please check if your first program is unconditional or is unconditional or conditional. If you have a conditional letter of acceptance now, what does it mean? Meaning you still have lacking documents. Probably you haven't submitted your diploma or certificate of graduation, or you're missing a specific requirement in your program. So please comply with that requirement until I believe this end of December. So that you can still keep your seat, because if let's say it's already January 3 and you still don't have that document ready with you, your seat might be canceled. So admissions will also remind you about the conditions for your program. So please check if your LOA has conditions or not. If your LOA is unconditional, you don't have to worry about anything right now. So another question, probably Jay, can you answer? Can I change my program after my first day of class?
Okay. That's a sensitive question. Well, actually, you applied a study permit based on the original program, which you mentioned to immigration. So technically, schools say no, you cannot lie to them. But it's new country, new life, and your money. Yes, we can change your program, but if the program is available. If the program is already closed, of course, we cannot change. But if the program is available, yes, we can change.
So probably just an additional information. Starting winter 2022, we have a new process for changing of program when you already start your class. So you will be given a window on where or when you can change your program. Again, like what Jay said, it has to be the program that you're transferring to has to be still open. There would be seats for international students, and we will only allow it once after the program orientation. And there might also be some questions asked for you. Why are you changing the program or whatnot? So please make sure that you're ready about that one when you really decide to change your program after the first day of class. And so what are the books and laptop requirements for my classes? So right now it's not yet updated, but books and laptop requirements will be available soon in the next few weeks. And I believe Jay, and Maria, we will also have Fanshawe Friday Q&A. And this is one of the topics that we might also cover during the FFQAs. We're having a Facebook Live for winter 2022. So once that it's ready, you will receive an email from us. And again, it will be covered in one of our sessions, our Friday sessions on Facebook. And what is the process if I want to add a second program? So if you don't have yet a second program right now, and you want to get the up to 3-year post-graduation work permit, just request an appointment with an immigration advisor in the international center, so that they can help you add a second program. And you can also ask from there what is the process of a study permit extension. And can I change my section? The answer is, like I said, no. Or your schedule and your sections are already predetermined by your program division. So you just have to work through your schedule, which is available, will be available 2 weeks before the start of class. And then for final reminders before we end, please regularly check your email for announcements and new information for winter 2022 start. In the next few weeks, probably you will be bombarded with emails because the school will also close, I believe December 23. So as much as possible, all information for students arriving in Canada, we'll be sending it weekly. So please check your email regularly because you're about to start your program in the next few weeks. So again, please check your email. If you still haven't received any email from us, probably there's a typo error in your email address in our system. So please reach out to any of us, Maria and I, so that we can check. Also, feel free to reach out to your agent or me and Maria for any issues and concerns. I know that there are a lot of groups on Facebook. There are also group chats, but they might not have the correct information. So if you think that the information that you are reading is not correct, kindly double check with us because situation of students will be very different from each other. So they might allow you, that specific student may be allowed, but in your case, it's not. Also, schools will have their own policies, especially for travel, for arrival, and for vaccination as well. So please double check with us, validate that information first with us before finalizing your plans. Also, if you have changes in your COVID-19 readiness form, please submit a new form and email Fanshawe Cares regarding the changes. And again, please stay safe, have fun, and welcome to Fanshawe College. Some of you you started your application a year ago, but now you got your visa approval, and you are about to start your program in Fanshawe College, and you can finally go to Canada by this time. So congratulations on your journey, and we really hope to see you in Canada very soon. But before we end, are there specific questions that you guys want to answer in the Q&A?
Okay, I think I'll start. There's a question here. Is the confirmation regarding isolation and access to food? For this requirement, do we still need the school to approve this? So if yes, where do we need to send an email? So as I've mentioned earlier, you need to have a confirmation regarding isolation and access to food. For this one, no need to submit it to us or send it to Fanshawe Cares. Just make sure that you've signed it and you were able to have a detailed description of how will you have access to basic necessities, and you will remain isolated for the rest of your quarantine. Okay. Okay, I have one more. Okay. What study permit should I upload online? Is it the initial permit, what you have now, or the final permit we got at the first point of entry? So again, for winter 2022 students, you will upload the study permit that you've received at the port of entry or first airport in Canada. So yung marireceive nyo in your first entry to Canada or in your layover. So that's the one that you will submit or upload in the JADU form link. So we have many questions on the links. Where will we get the links for that we've mentioned here in the presentation? Don't worry, we will send a helpful link in which you can locate all of the links that we've mentioned throughout the presentation.
Yes, and there's also questions about the arrive can. So your first point of entry. So if you have a connecting flight, for example, in Vancouver, you will be receiving your study permit there. So please provide that your flight details in Vancouver, because that's the first time that you will meet a border officer, an immigration officer. So you have to include that one. And also, there's another, a repeat question for the contact number. If you don't have a Canadian number yet, you can actually register your phone number, your Philippine number, in WhatsApp, because it might be easier for you to contact, or for us to contact you as well during your quarantine. Also, probably a tip for our students, because you're arriving in Canada, let's say middle of the night, we can still provide transportation for you, because our transportation company will follow your flight details. So it runs 24/7. You are we will follow whatever information that you shared. And also a tip as well, if you're going to arrive in Canada, it might also help if you will register for a roaming service so that you can use your mobile number even just for a few days. Because we don't know if, let's say, your flight will have a delayed arrival in Canada, or let's say there will be a long queue in the immigration, or you will have a longer time to locate your bags. So it might be useful if you subscribe to our roaming service just for a few days. So let's say your flight is delayed or you got stuck in the immigration line, you can call the transportation company and inform them that you will be arriving at this time, or give me a few minutes or a few hours until I arrive, so that they are informed. Because you might not have a Canadian phone number where you can call them, or you might not have access to a public telephone that you can reach them. So the transportation information is already posted in the details that we will be providing 3 to 5 days before your travel date. And that one includes all the information. Which gate, what kiosk are you or booth are you going to, also what time, the contact information, it's already there. So you just have to follow the one that we are sharing. Any other specific questions? Some are like, what was there?
already answered.
So if you have
Thank you.
specific case-specific questions about your status, you can email us, philippines@fanshawe.ca and phoffice@fanshawe.ca, so that we can help you further. I
I
think
think
Jay
I
has
also have to
Okay. Others,
have to answer.
yes.
Regarding our partner hotels for your quarantine, our Philippine office will send you all of the detailed information, include our partner hotels. So please keep checking your email. Then you will see the PDF file, which we include all of the partner hotels. And under 12, no quarantine. But above 12, yes, quarantine. But if parents are fully vaccinated, if you wanted to go outside without your kid must stay at separate room. If you guys are sharing the living room, washroom, everything, you guys also have to request 14 days quarantine. And also providing your family information, why it is important in COVID-19 readiness. We will provide different cars. So if you have 4 family members, we will send you a van. If you are single, you will, get the big size, like a cargo van, like 12 people sitting together. But if you will bring your family, we will arrange a separate car for your family. So please put your family information in COVID-19 readiness. That's important. And if you will transfer from US to Canada, of course, you need a visa, entry visa for US. I think that's it.
Yeah. So for the questions that we received today, when we end this call, we're going to also have a copy of it. So we'll take note of that one. We'll provide the answers, and we'll be sharing that to you guys as well. So again, the session is being recorded. If you know someone who missed the session, they can rewatch it at their own convenience. But whatever information that we've shared, that's the information that we have right now. So it will change in the next few weeks, or probably by December. We will of course inform all of our students via our Philippine office or directly from Fanshawe International. So before we end, anything that you want to say? Probably good luck for our students, Jay and Maria.
Maria, you go.
Okay, so again, thank you everyone for joining today's session. I hope this session was very helpful for you to prepare for your travel to Canada in the next coming month. If you have further questions or clarifications, you just email me and Ina, and we will be glad to answer them. And again, we will send you a copy of this presentation and also the helpful link, so you can locate all of the links that we've mentioned during the presentation. So again, thank you everyone, and welcome to Fanshawe.
Okay. As Ina mentioned, I'm in South Korea right now, but I will be in London in January, since January 2nd. But I will be in the International Center since January 4th. So if you guys wanted to talk with me, or if you guys have any question, or if you guys wanted to say hello, come to International Center and find me. And if you wanted to have a coffee with me, just send me a message. I will buy coffee for all of the Philippine students if you wanted to have one-on-one meeting. I'm willing to, but I will do interview or take a photo, right? And share with other Philippine students. So I'm happy to see and talk with you. So feel free to visit International Center and find me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I hope you get to see Jay in the International Center, or you bump into him in London City. So yeah, thank you so much for joining this webinar. Please keep safe. I know that some of you might be traveling after Christmas or after New Year celebration. So if you can, probably keep safe still before traveling, because you still have to take a negative, you have to submit the negative swab test before traveling to Canada. So we won't like you to be exposed to the virus. So please keep safe and stay safe with your flight. And welcome again to Fanshawe College. Thank you for choosing us, and I hope you enjoy your stay in our school. Thank you so much. Have a great night ahead of you. Happy weekend, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Happy weekend, everyone. Goodbye.